Hello, welcome back. The exciting adventures of Beefstick the Barbarian continues. I actually played this for a little while, and I got ruthlessly slaughtered, and I forgot to all this talk about saving off, and like I do all the time, and I actually didn't do it once, and it cost me about 45 minutes worth of game time because I'm a freaking idiot.
Hey. Yes?
I gotta go do this crap all over again.
I shall.
I didn't record that, or I canceled the recording. You didn't want to see it. It was pretty terrible.
Let's see what lies this way.
Let's explore this again. There's a memorial of a bunch of backer stuff written down. Terradog rests with his companion Willer. Thargelio, Benefactor Lord Jangro Catalyst, the Fool, the Dragon of the Obsidian Order, eternally in service to the Order. Mihao Zoldak, Trutnov, Lord Tjorborn, Gronovic, Dale. Here lies an unfortunate lord who responsibly stored above his bed, poorly fastened his powerful magical sword. Tulimirski, the glow of the fire shows the way through the night, and the wind will lead us home. Uber, he loved to run, sometimes he didn't, but he still kept at it, then he stopped, so here he is. Mr. Vishra, in his dying breath, he muttered the numbers 0, 4, 5, and 1. What could it mean? Aha, lost reference. So saith Kitiana, disciple of Rio, he is death incarnate, endlessly feeding on the nightmares of tormented souls in the dark tunnels of eternity. In his wake, despair and destruction follow. His power ever grows, he will be reawakened. Walkir Grimboldson, greetings for Swafnir's home, where I think that's supposed to be feast, drink, and sing, waiting for Hranger's return. May my axe be as sharp in death as it was in life. Male not insane, filled with light, consumed by shadows. William Lambert, Willie's not here, he was never here to begin with. Gorstag, a tall dwarf, found up beers and axes. Here lies boot play. Their fans saved the day and joined the play. Knights of sugar and armor, fools took the charmer, and at least not in boot plates, which should make Josh quite a rate. I'm not going to pronounce that name because it's whatever, try to read it yourself. We are no longer our souls, we are the faithful no more. Lots were not drawn and sent out, I will not splinter and break, dwelling on earth or the sky, no masters or gods. Asha, happiness free for everyone and let no one be forgotten. Joshua Fairchild's dreams do come true. Zishan Shara, by the grace of his wife, he pledged and then pledged some more to the binary code on the pillar for some or such for eternity, hopefully not in torment. Zini the Ratonga was here. Raymond Beckett, an avid gamer and dedicated backer to Pillars of Eternity. Pavel Kacharevsky, in memory of Pavel Kacharevsky, aka Suicide Bunny, 1979 through 2015. So yeah, there's this one battle in this area that I'm going to avoid like the plague because everything else in this area was piece of cake, and then there's this one battle that is just freaking ruthless.
Yes?
Just an absolutely insane amount of enemies.
Brave does the Lord believe.
Not even slowing it down!
Yeah?
I'll scout our path.
She's a better scout than Alof. Might as well have her in front.
Point the way.
Less squishy, too. So here, I can go to Stormwall Gorge. I have to go through that to get to Durford Village. Still not sure whether I want to try to do that. Go all the way back to Gilded Vale. That's such a long ways, though. Or try to get to Defiance Bay. So I figured there's probably going to be a merchant in this village. There's almost certainly going to be multiple merchants in Defiance Bay. And of course I know for a fact there are merchants in Gilded Vale. The point being that I want to sell off stuff to get enough money to continue restoration project in my stronghold. So, but Gilded Vale is the sure thing, but it's so far away.
Time to see and not...
Got a dead body up on top of this plateau. There's a lurker somewhere around here for me to kill. There he is.
Hey.
Following your lead.
All right then. Hey.
Huh?
Not even slowing it down!
Wow, Beefstick's pretty hurt. This guy's almost down, though. There he goes.
Hey.
Lost very little health, actually. So, really endurance
Point the
damage.
way.
I can deal with that.
Right.
Everybody reloaded. He's already got some chicken. Now he's got more. Let's use some sweet pie. Sweet pie. Give the rice pan to Alof. Alright.
And what does the flame reveal?
Oops. Let's just unload into him.
Brave does he love.
Huh? Huh?
Not believe.
Dead on. Good shot with this. Dead on!
Hmm?
Huh? No problem.
One battle where I got killed last time and that I didn't record just threw me so off guard, because like every other battle was just this piece of cake like this beforehand, and this battle was just like so freaking many enemies and tough ones too. It's crazy. So I'm gonna avoid that area.
I shall be discreet.
It's probably not an impossible fight at my level, but I don't really feel like doing it right now. To just not be stupid, I might as well save. So in case something like that happens again, I won't be losing nearly as much playing time. Another lurker.
Hey.
Yes?
Dead on!
Don't even slow it!
How may I help?
Dead on!
Hey.
Yeah?
Ready, Watcher. Got it.
Oh, she's calling me Watcher, so does that mean she believes me?
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
So that battle is around here-ish. And I'm not going there. It's probably in there, next to the entrance to get up on this plateau. There's probably nice goodies in that cart, too. Maybe even enough money for me to go ahead and fix up my stronghold some more, but man, I don't know that I want to do that fight again, because it's just crazy.
Time to see and not be seen.
Let's see what's over here.
Quickly and quietly.
Whoa. Is that a lion? Sure is. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh! Wow! I wasn't even spotted and he went after me. Or he just happens to be running in this direction. Alright, well. Alright. That was easy. Okay. Damn. Alright. Got a lot of experience for that too. Lion hide. Lions were once a common sight on the plains east and south of Airglyph Glanfap's great forests, but colonization in the eastern reach has pushed the great cats back to the relative safety of the territory between Glanfafen and their wooden communities. In addition to their great power, lions are known for their roar, a terrifying sound that can strike fear into the hearts of the bravest kith.
Sure.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, 3 lions. 2 lions and an elder lion, a lion, and a lioness. Yikes. This is probably going to be painful.
I'm here.
Hey.
Yeah?
On your word.
Oh my goodness. 2 lions, an elder lion, and a lioness. And a dead body. Possibly 6, 7 more dead bodies. Or 6 dead kith and a dead wolf. Very, very soon. But okay, let's give this a shot.
I'm here.
Mark the elder lion. Let's everybody unload. Hold on. Everybody
way.
unload into him.
Brave thou Philadelphia.
Huh?
Wow, barely injured.
Huh?
Hey.
Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
How may I help?
What?
Arctic worse than rust.
Huh?
Huh?
Lay down and heal.
Yeah?
Beef stick, heal yourself, buddy. I don't think I can. Because I'm frightened. How much longer? 7.3 seconds. Yikes. I think beef stick's gonna go down.
How may I help?
Hmm?
Huh?
Yeah?
Huh?
Don't even
Yeah?
did use Savage Defiance. Good. I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but...
Yes?
Hey.
Yes?
I'm here. Ready, Watcher.
There goes Beef Stick.
Following your lead.
Ready, Watcher.
Hey.
Yes?
Yes? Yes?
Lava will be unseated.
Canna's about to go down.
What?
Aztec works on rock.
Huh?
Point the way.
Aye? Yes?
Hey.
Yes?
Don't even slow it!
Alright, Elder Line's almost dead. Would be nice to get rid of it.
How may I help?
Point the way.
Hey.
Make the bastard through that one!
Alright, Elder Line's dead.
What?
Might just
Yes.
survive this.
Hi?
Lava will be on seek.
What?
Yes?
Point the way.
Lava will be on seek.
I missed? Oh. That really, really sucks. Now I'm dead. There's no way Editor's gonna stand up by himself against 3 freaking lions.
What?
Yeah, so I'm not
I'm
doing
here.
that bad.
Sure.
I was close. If I ate food.
Some fermented caribou milk would hit the spot right now.
Nice and quiet.
Hey, is this what I was needing? Ah, sweet. No? No, not Orion's Crown. I need Pilgrim's Crown. Crap. Ah, so close. Still can't achieve anything.
Got it.
Camping supplies, much appreciated. You see a group of robed figures sitting next to a fire. This woman, much younger and smaller, sits with them. They are discussing travel and making plans, deciding which road will get them to their destination fastest. A rustling noise catches the attention of several members of the group, and they stand, watching over the fire, straining against the darkness to see. An enormous shadowy figure makes its way into camp, and the darkness slowly parts against the firelight to reveal who it is. Many members of the group stand, readying weapons. Others quietly invoke their god, preparing spells for battle. The girl looks around confused when the man sitting next to her stands, holding out his arms. He chastises the others in the group for not showing the proper hospitality to a stranger. The man who walks towards the ogre, hand extended, speaking words of welcome in its own tongue. The ogre stares at the man for a brief moment. Then, with a swiftness seemingly unnatural for being of its size, it swings the club it had been dragging behind itself. It connects with the man's head, causing a wet, crushing sound. The woman to the girl's right screams and rushes to the man's side, covering half the distance before the man has even fallen to the ground. From the darkness all around the group, terrifying and blood-curdling shouts answer the screams of those in the camp as more figures approach through the darkness. Tucked under the flap of this bedroll is a relic of some kind, a small conch shell strung with seaweeds. Well, I could proceed to the bridge.
And what does the flame reveal?
She needs rest. Alright. You know what? I'll explore the rest of this area later. Let's give it a shot. Let's go for the bridge. 4 hours. Yeah, that's close. I'm this close to Defiance Bay. If I could just get in there and access stores. More souls to reach into. You see a lavishly decorated room. Walls hung with tapestries, ornate oil lamps, creating a warm, relaxing atmosphere. There are several overstuffed couches covered with silk pillows and an elegant table in the middle of the floor. This woman is seated at the table, sitting across from another woman. They are both well dressed, their style befitting the room they're in. The other woman's hair is blonde, in stark contrast to the woman's black, and is swept up on her head in dramatic style. The women speak in an easy, free tone, obviously familiar with one another. Though they each seem to be comfortable in the other's company, a strange nervousness surrounds the blonde woman's actions. She occasionally betrays herself with a little giggle or stammer, hitching over an easy word as she speaks. Her demeanor swings from friendly to shy and back again with no warning. This woman leans back a little in her chair, stretching lightly. As she finishes her stretch, she gently lays her hand next to the other woman's hand, letting their fingers subtly intertwine. The second woman stops speaking mid-sentence, inhales sharply, and turns red. She does not, however, move her hand. This woman smiles and moves her hand further over the other, holding it. She then stands, moving around the table toward the blonde woman, whose face shows conflicting emotion of terror and lust. She giggles and pulls her hand out from under the other and brings it to her mouth, the red on her face deepening. The woman stops, looking down at her, eyes sparkling. She reaches out and pulls something from the blonde's hair, letting it fall around her shoulders. Then she leans over, brushing her lips lightly over the blonde woman's cheek, resting her mouth against her ear. As she whispers, her hand moves literally down the other woman's body to her waist. The blonde shudders and leans into the hand, eyes closing, cheek pressing against the lips, still whispering at her ear. This woman hands deftly. Okay, that's some grammatical error there. Deftly removes a small bag from the other woman's belt and secretes it under her own cloak at the smell of her back. Then she gently kisses the other woman's cheek and stands again, the smile never leaving her mouth. She robbed her. Craddock Bridgeman. You see a ship being tossed about in a storm-ravaged sea. The swells rise and fall, carrying the ship with them as if they were a toy. This man stands on the deck at the helm of the ship, while water whips around him. The crew moves about frantically, trying to keep the chaos under control. He barks orders at them, pointing where to go and giving each one a task. The men, while still visibly distressed, seem to calm down when they are given their orders. He instructs the helmsman to resume his duties at the wheel and rushes to the aid of a crewman who is struggling with a rope attached to one of the sails. The ship crests a wave, going almost vertical in one direction and then immediately again in the other direction. Several of the crew are thrown from their feet, sliding across the deck as the ship rocks. After the swell passes and the ship returns to a relatively normal orientation, the man quickly scans the deck, continuing silently. No one has been lost this time, thankfully. He looks in the direction they're headed, seeing no reprieve from the storm in sight. His jaw squared and his upper lip stiffened. He returns to the helm and takes the wheel again. Zoran Xenius Kavik. You You see a flurry of matted white hair and an incandescent freeze fire staff before you see the man, cold and wild. He chews a wizened apple slowly, discharging spell after spell into the jumble of villagers screeching their way toward him. Cold flame vents from his nose, and apple seeds shoot out of the side of his mouth as he saunters forward, ignoring arrows and curses alike. A deliberate twist of a staff and a bullet of force glides through the torso of one assailant and another. A roar blisters his throat, and he launches himself into their midst, tearing into their essence with his staff. A pleading hand reaches toward him and quickly falls ignored. Silence takes hold as the tattered man gathers his prize, a basket of fresh pears. He hums as he eats. Alright, made it to the city. Yes! Welcome to Defiance Bay, but watch yourself in our city, understand? Understood. We have fruit and vegetables. Anything down here? No? Let's talk to Justicar Forgant.
Hail and well met.
What can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Sorry, but I don't have time right now. But it sounds like that dozen's crackpot Rowan is stirring up trouble again. He jerks his head at the gate. He'd be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city, liberally flavored with dozens of propaganda, of course. I'm looking for the Temple of Wodica. He scratches his beard. Not sure why you want to go there, he shrugs. It's in First Fires if you really want to see it. You seem to be on edge. What's the problem? Thousands of them, truth be told. We've got refugees coming in from all parts, and there's some misguided notions that things are actually better here, that the legacy somehow passed us over. So they show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making a worse mess of things. He looks you up and down. No offense. He grunts, and good luck to you. Into the city we go. Copper Lane. Well, Copper Lane's the only place I can go. Copper Lane it is.
Defiance Bay. The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
All right. First order of business. Find a shop. Goose and Fox. Probably an inn. Ooh, marketplace. Bam! I know where I'm going. I'm gonna go to the marketplace and then the inn. Because I know Sagani's pretty tired. Not the rest of my crew, but still. Yes, I will loot this crate. What do we have here? Caro Golan. Wow. User +4 focus on a hit for 600 seconds, +2 dexterity for +2 perception for -2 intellect for 600 seconds, 4 fatigue for +300 seconds after, -10 okay. Gotcha. Made from a sacred and uncommon plant that grows deep in Aaron Glanfath. Karo Golan is the name given to a mixture typically used solely for ceremonial purposes, or else by warriors going into important battles. It is said to open one's awareness to one's place in the world, raising one's ability to recognize and react to threats. Cool.
It used to be a lot less of a mess.
Protesters, huh? These animancers have brought divine wrath upon us. And yet the Duke and his toadies and the Crucible Knights do nothing. Can we allow these atrocities to continue unchecked? No! Down with animancy! Waidwin's legacy was one warning, Heritage Hill was another. Spread the word. Together we'll drive the blight of animancy from our city. Rowan's arms are crossed and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacies no better here. It's the Animancers. Magrans scorch them, and they nest in the city like rats. You mark my words, though, us dozens are gonna put a stop to it. Tell me about the dozens. He taps his chest. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training and the discipline and the code of honor. His eyes gleam. And we're always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. Yeah, somehow I doubt that. You have any interest in hearing more? Stop by Admeth's den sometime. The expedition hall. A lot of free thinkers in there. Can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animancers want you to believe. Might even be some paid work for motivated types. I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay. This is the capital of the Free Palatinate of Durwood. We started out as the capital of the Adern colony, but we booted the Flaccid Scepter from these lands 150 years ago. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world. But we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Andra's Gift, Brackenbury, and Heritage Hill. He ticks each off on a calloused finger. Tell me about Copper Lane. This here's Copper Lane. He taps his scuffed boot on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district, but you've also got the expedition hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wild. That's also where my fellow dozens, martyrs, and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens. He points to a long domed building west and north of your position, and that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me, but they've got the biggest library in Durwood. Canna laughs. Eerie indeed. Might be less so if more kith step inside. Perhaps we ought to visit, Beefstick, and see just what mysteries are revealed. Tell me about Brackenbury. A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. The nobility that didn't sail back to Eddard stayed there. Most of the families there trace their lineage back to the old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadrat House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenbury Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. He spits on the cobblestones. Tell me about First Fires. That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Valiant Embassy, the Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay. But now they're just strutting peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their asses. There's an old temple of Wodaka there too. We keep it real nice for her, he winks. Tell me about Andra's gifts. Got the name because it was a wetland that was drained back in the Imperial days. Now it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place too if you know where to look. He winks and elbows. Look for a place called the Salty Mast when you're there. Other than it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Tell me about Heritage Hill. It used to be one of the most prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there next to an ancient Nguithan Tower and the city cemetery. Had the best views in Defiance Bay. Attracts richer types these days. A lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something's happened over there a couple months ago. The authorities sealed it off and they're keeping their mouths shut. But mark my words, animancy's to blame. Alright, well, that's enough out of you. What are you doing out here? He gestures at the crowd, which buzzes with angry chatter. Trying to get these folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about animancy? It's a study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adurans at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings these ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Nguithan times, which is why you'll see animancers tinkering with old Nguithan artifacts. Connor raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truth, Saul. But he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. He shakes his head. Trouble is, the animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing at least. Farewell. Alright. Let's just go straight to the marketplace. Maybe we could go down for a quick look and come right back out. Say we found nothing. What's this we? Dalton's your friend, not mine. Who's Dalton? Is he Dalton from, what is that? God damn, I can't believe I forget the damn name of the movie. Roadhouse, of course. God, I'm an idiot. Heritage Hill claims another curious soul. We remind all visitors to Defiance Bay that the hill is sealed for the city's protection, and furthermore that the trade of Nguithan artifacts is strictly forbidden. And you are Crier. Oh, looks like Editor wants to talk.
The dozens.
He shakes his head.
Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Assume there'd be less of them.
Why do they call themselves the Dozens? It was 12 Derwoodens stood outside Halgot Citadel waiting for Wadewind to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate. So that's what they did. Godhammer? That's what they called the bomb they blew up Wadewind with. Don't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god, guess you gotta name it. What do you have against the Dozens? Nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folks anyway. The Dozens, they like to take things into their own hands. It gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked a name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Magrin too, when they especially want to feel right. Somehow I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set him on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that sort of thing. People hide behind symbols so they can't be questioned. The Duke's a reasonable man. Maybe while we're in Defiance Bay, we can get him to force people to call themselves what they are. Don't imagine they'd have as many members if they called themselves the loudmouth sheepfuckers. Let's continue on. Good idea. Alright, into the marketplace we go. Hey, Paragon! Hello again, the Orlan woman says in a familiar tone. Thanks for visiting my store. I'm still trying to recover from losing that cargo, she says with a huff. My inventory isn't what it used to be, but hopefully I've got something you like. Yeah, let's see. Alright, let's sell this dagger. Might want to give that to her. I don't know if we'll see. You get a lot for grimoires, but they're useful. Right, let's see. Stash. What does she have to sell? Lots and lots and lots of traps. Traps, 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 and more traps. Trade. Now, I can work on my stronghold. Alright, so let's get this Bright Hollow restoration going. Or I could do the Bailey. Or the towers. Yeah, let's just do the Bright Hollow. Cool. Laura.
Got it.
The young woman stands by a cart watching the crowd with large, bright eyes that focus on you as you approach. Take your time, traveler. If you're looking for enchanted scrolls or garb, you've come to the right place. I might be. I'm gonna sell any gems, maybe. I'll hold on to them for now. Let's see what she's got. Telda's ring. It's quite expensive. Only usable by wizard. Ring of Wizardry. +2 second level spell uses. +1 fourth level spell uses. Nice. An elven wizard of Eder, Telda was forever frustrated by the limits of her own considerable powers. After spending almost 2 centuries mastering most of the spells known to Kith, she found that her greatest challenge lay not within her repertoire, but with her inability to make more frequent use of her magic. She spent the last century of her life studying a means to amplify her abilities. When at last she developed the spell she needed, she had it built into this ring so that the prudent wizard need not cast the spell to make use of it. Protection, Ring of Deflection, Seal of Faith. This gives, toughness 2, +2 fortitude, reflex bonus 2, +4 reflex, of resolve, +2 resolve. Ring of Deflection, +10 deflection. Seal of Faith. This thick iron band is dented and scratched and appears to have seen much use. It is studded with elven small beads, one for each of the gods. It was created by an Adirran priest to remind him of his devotion, particularly in the heat of battle. It is said that, feeling his fingers rub against the beads, he would say a quick prayer to each of the gods who blessed them in return. Only usable by priest, +1 first level, spell use, +1 second level spell use, +1 third level spell use. It's relatively cheap too. Yeah, a bunch of potions, scrolls. Ashwood cameo figurine. Summon Delungan. This intricate piece has been created from one small piece of ashwood. A raised relief has been carved across the front, depicting an eerie, beautiful figure standing beneath a large and twisting tree. Her face is turned slightly to regard the viewer, as if just haven't noticed her presence. I'm going to leave off here for now. Next time, we'll explore the city further, check out the rest of the marketplace, go in the inn, get some rest for Sagani and the rest of the crew, see what's going on at the inn, and yeah, it's a big city. Probably going to be spending a lot of time in here. A lot of it maybe just talking to people and stuff, but we'll see. See what the adventures bring next time.